The maitre d' at Le Bernardin knows me by name, has for 3 years. Probably knows I wear a 42 long suit, that I drink Macallan 18 when I'm celebrating and soda water when I'm not. Tonight, I was celebrating, or I was supposed to be. Mr. Voss, he said, glancing at the empty seat across from me. Shall I hold the table? I checked my watch. 9:15. Our reservation was for 7:30. I'd texted her at 6. 7, 8. Read receipts were on. She'd seen them. No reply. Give it another 10. I said, my voice sounded calm. That's the thing people get wrong about rage. It doesn't always yell. Sometimes it just goes very, very quiet. He nodded and drifted off. Around me, the room hummed with the sound of knives against porcelain. Low laughter. The occasional pop of a champagne cork. Happy people. People who'd shown up. I pulled out my phone again. The last text from Evelyn was from 4:30. Back to back until 6. Might run late. Board emergency. Nathan's handling it. Nathan. Always Nathan. I didn't reply. Just sat there, staring at the bubbles in my water glass, counting backward. 9 years, 9 anniversaries. And this was the 9th time she'd chosen him over me. Not him. Exactly. Chosen the idea of him, the utility of him. Nathan Reese, her 29-year-old chief of staff, the guy who scheduled her life down to the minute, who anticipated her needs before she knew them, who become less an assistant, and more what? A shadow? A proxy? First anniversary. She'd missed our dinner at Daniel because a supplier in Shenzhen had flaked. Nathan was the one who called to tell me. Second, a last-minute investor pitch in Boston. Nathan met her at the airport. Third, a crisis at the warehouse. Nathan handled it while she oversaw. By year 5, I'd stopped planning anything elaborate. Year 6, I'd stopped expecting her to remember. Year 8, I'd stopped caring. But tonight, I cared because tonight, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. At 9:30, I stood up. The maitre d' appeared instantly. Mr. Voss closed the tab. I said, and cancel the dessert course. He hesitated. Will Mrs. Carlyle be joining you later? I looked at him. Really looked. His name was Antoine. Late 40s. Thinning hair. Wedding ring slightly tarnished. He'd probably seen this scene 100 times. The husband waiting. The wife who didn't come. No. I said, she won't. The car service was waiting outside. I gave the driver my home address. The penthouse on Park Avenue that Evelyn had bought with her Series C funding. The one she barely slept in. The city blurred past, neon signs. Yellow cabs. Couples walking hand in hand. I kept my eyes on my phone. Scrolling through emails I didn't read. Deleting them one by one. When I got upstairs, the apartment was dark except for the glow of her office. The door was half open. I heard voices. Hers, sharp and clipped. His, smoother, lower. Need to push the vote to Thursday. She was saying, if we don't have the numbers by then, we lose the clause entirely. I've already spoken to Chun and O'Malley. Nathan replied, Chen's in, but O'Malley wants concessions on the dividend structure. We can give him 0.2% without triggering a class action risk. Do it, and get legal to draft the addendum tonight. I want on my desk by midnight. Already done. I leaned against the doorframe. Evelyn was still in her charcoal gray suit, the one she'd worn to the office this morning. Her hair was pulled back in that severe bun she used for board meetings. Nathan was perched on the edge of her desk, tablet in hand, looking every bit the golden boy she liked to keep close. They both looked up at the same time. Evelyn blinked. Julian, what are you doing here? I didn't answer right away. Just watched her. Watched the way her eyes flicked to the clock on the wall. The way her mouth tightened when she saw the time. 9:58. 2 minutes to 10. Our 9th anniversary. And she hadn't even changed clothes. I was at Le Bernardin. I said, until 9:30. Then I came home. Nathan shifted, just slightly, a micro adjustment. But I caught it. He liked this. He liked being the one she turned to when the world got messy. Liked being the one who understood her priorities. Evelyn frowned. I texted you. Board emergency. Nathan's handling it. I saw the text. I said, at 4:30, for hours before our reservation. You could have called, could have rescheduled, could have told Antoine to hold the table for one more hour. But you didn't, because Nathan's handling it. She exhaled, impatient. Julian, not now. We're in the middle of a conversation I'm not part of. I finished. That's the problem. Evie, I haven't been part of one in 9 years. Nathan cleared his throat. Mrs. Carlyle, if you like, I can finish the draft and stay. I said, cutting him off. My voice didn't rise. Didn't need to. Stay and listen. You've been listening to everything else. Evelyn shot me a look, half warning, half confusion. Julian, this is business. So is marriage. I said, or it used to be, before it became a scheduling conflict you couldn't be bothered to resolve. I walked into the room, past her desk, past Nathan, who suddenly found the floor very interesting. I stopped at the window, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, Antoine was probably clearing my table, shaking his head. Somewhere out there, other people were celebrating their 9th anniversary. Not us. I filed for divorce today. I said, the silence that followed was absolute. Even the hum of the city seemed to fade. Evelyn's chair scraped back. You what? Papers are on your desk at the office. I said, turning back to face her. Ben Harrington's handling the filing. You know Ben. He doesn't mess around. You'll have the official notice by Monday. Her face went pale. Not the calculated paleness she used in negotiations, but real. Shocked. For a second, she looked like the woman I'd married. The one who'd laughed so hard at our wedding she'd snorted champagne out her nose. Then the mask slid back into place. This is ridiculous, she said. You're overreacting. It's one night, it's 9 nights. I said, 9 years, 9 chances to show up, and you chose work, chose Nathan, every single time. I didn't choose, she started, then stopped, glanced at Nathan, who was very carefully not looking at either of us. This is about the assistant? Julian, that's childish. Nathan's indispensable. He keeps this company running. Indispensable. I repeated. Right. So indispensable, you can't even have a conversation without him in the room. Can't celebrate a milestone without checking his calendar first. Can't remember your own anniversary because he didn't put it in yours. I remember. She snapped. Of course I remember. There was a situation. There's always a situation. I said, and there's always Nathan. Cleaning it up, managing it, making sure you never have to face the consequences of your choices, including the choice to let this marriage rot. Nathan finally spoke. Mr. Voss, with all due respect, with no respect. I said, turning to him. None at all. You don't get to, with all due respect, me in my own home. You don't get to sit there and act like you're not the reason she forgot. You don't get to be the one she calls when she should be calling me. He held my gaze for a beat. Just one. Then looked away. Smart kid. He knew when he was outmatched. Evelyn stepped between us. Enough. Both of you. She turned to me, her voice dropping to that tone she used with underperforming VPs. Julian, this is insane. You're threatening our entire life over a dinner reservation? Our life. I said, there's the problem. It's not ours. It's yours. Your company. Your schedule. Your priorities. I'm just a guy who occasionally shows up in the background of your Instagram posts. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. It came out hollow. Fair would have been you showing up tonight. Fair would have been you choosing me once. But you didn't. And now I'm choosing me. I headed for the door. Julian, wait. I paused. Hand on the frame. You're not serious, she said. Her voice cracked on the last word. The first crack I'd heard in years. I looked back at her. At the woman who'd built an empire from a dorm room idea. At the woman who could stare down hostile takeovers without blinking. At the woman who was currently staring at me like she just realized the ground beneath her feet wasn't solid. I've never been more serious. I said, Monday. Evie, talk to Ben. Or don't. Either way, I'm done being your 9th priority. I walked out, down the hall, into the bedroom, I hadn't slept alone in years. Closed the door, leaned against it. From the office, I heard her voice, sharp and low. Get out, Nathan. A pause, then the soft click of the door closing. Footsteps, silence. I didn't unpack, didn't undress, just sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the city breathe. Somewhere around midnight, my phone buzzed. A text, not from Evelyn, from Ben, filed, served Monday a.m. She'll know by 9. I stared at the screen, then typed back, good. Another buzz, this one from a number I didn't recognize. Probably a client, or a reporter, or Nathan, playing games. I didn't check it, just set the phone on the nightstand, lay back, and close my eyes. 9 years, 9 strikes. And this time, I'd swung the bat, let her panic. I woke up at 5:30. Old habit. The bed felt too big, the sheets too cold. I didn't roll over to check if she was there. I already knew. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. I made coffee, black, no sugar, and scrolled through my emails on the kitchen island. 3 from clients, 1 from Ben Harrington. Subject line, served. I opened it. Attached was the proof of service. Dated, timed, delivered to Evelyn's executive assistant, Marissa, at Carlyle Global's Midtown headquarters at precisely 8:47 a.m. Marissa had signed for it. Standard protocol. No drama, just paperwork. I sipped the coffee. It tasted like Monday. By 7, I was in the shower. By 7:30, I was in a suit, navy, tailored. The one I wore when I needed to remind people I wasn't just someone's husband. I was Julian Voss, founding partner of Voss Company, crisis manager to New York's elite. Today, I had a 9 o'clock with a hedge fund guy whose mistress had leaked his trading logs. Small potatoes compared to what was waiting for me across town. I didn't expect to hear from Evelyn. Not yet. She'd be in her office by 6. Same as every morning. Reviewing overnight reports. Prepping for the 8:30 stand-up with her leadership team. She wouldn't open the envelope right away. She'd delegate that. Marissa would scan it, flag it, bring it to her with the morning briefing. Evelyn would read it, process it, and then she'd call. My phone stayed silent until 8:55. Right on cue. Julian. Her voice was steady. Too steady. My office. Now. I didn't reply. Just ended the call and dropped the phone into my pocket. The car service dropped me at Carlyle Global's building at 9:10. The lobby was all glass and steel. Security guards in crisp uniforms. Employees hurrying toward elevators with lanyards bouncing against their chests. I nodded at the guard, who recognized me. Everyone did, and waved me through without a badge. The elevator ride to the top floor was quick, silent. The doors opened to a reception area that smelled like money and ambition. Marissa looked up from her desk, her expression carefully neutral. Mr. Voss, Mrs. Carlyle is expecting you. I walked past her without a word. Evelyn's office door was half open. I pushed it the rest of the way. She was standing behind her desk, still in the suit from last night, though she'd loosened the tie, dark circles under her eyes. Nathan was there, too, sitting in one of the leather chairs, tablet in hand, looking like he'd slept 4 hours and spent the other 20 strategizing. Closed the door. Julian, Evelyn said. I did, then leaned against it, arms crossed. This is insane, she said, holding up the divorce papers. You filed, actually, I said, you couldn't have discussed this? Couldn't have given me a heads up? I did, last night, for 9 years. I've been giving you heads ups. You just never listened. Nathan set the tablet down, slowly. Mrs. Carlyle, perhaps we should stay out of it. Nathan, I said. He froze, looked at Evelyn. She didn't correct me, didn't tell him to speak, just stared at me, jaw tight. You're ruining everything, she said. Do you have any idea what this does to the stock? To the board? To our positioning going into the fourth quarter? I repeated. There's that word again. Funny how it only comes up when I'm the one leaving. This isn't a joke. Julian never said it was. She walked around the desk, stopping a few feet from me, close enough to smell her perfume. Something expensive. Something she wore to intimidate. We have a prenup. A solid one. You walk away with the penthouse, the cars, the accounts we agreed on. Why blow it up now? Because I'm not a line item. Evie, I'm not a goddamn asset you depreciate over time. Nathan cleared his throat. Mr. Voss, if I may, the timing of this filing coincides with our Series D round. The markets are volatile. A leadership shakeup, even a personal one, could spook investors. We're talking millions in valuation. I looked at him. Really looked. You're worried about millions? Cute. I'm worried about 9 years. Julian, Evelyn started. There's a clause in that prenup you've never thought about. I said, cutting her off. Section 4, subsection B. If either party fails to attend 3 or more consecutive pre-scheduled familial milestones without documented extenuating circumstances, the aggrieved party reserves the right to petition for equitable reallocation of marital assets, including but not limited to equity stakes in jointly held ventures. Her face changed. Not much, just a flicker. But I saw it. You read the fine print, she said quietly. I wrote the fine print. I said, back when I was still a lawyer, and you were still a girl who thought marriage meant something. You laughed when I suggested it. Said it was adorable that I thought you'd ever miss a milestone. I didn't think, no, you didn't. You thought I'd keep showing up, keep waiting, keep being the guy who smiles at board dinners and holds your hand at galas and never asks for anything in return. But here's the thing. Evie, I'm not that guy anymore. Nathan stood up. Finally, Mrs. Carlyle, we need to address this with legal. If he's invoking Section 4, we need to counterfile before the market opens. I can have the team draft a response by... Sit down. Nathan, Evelyn said. He sat. She turned back to me. You're really doing this. Already done. And the company? You're just going to let it burn? I'm not burning anything. You are. By treating this like a PR crisis instead of a marriage. By letting him. I nodded at Nathan. Sit in on conversations he has no right to be part of. By acting like I'm the problem. Because I finally stopped pretending. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, what do you want? I want you to stop calling this a mistake. I want you to stop acting like I'm overreacting. I want you to read those papers and understand that I meant every word. And I want him, I pointed at Nathan, out of this room while we talk. If we're going to negotiate, it's you and me, not you, me, and your shadow. Nathan's jaw tightened. He looked at Evelyn, waiting for the order. She hesitated. 1 second, 2, 3. Then Nathan, out. He stood slowly, gathered his tablet, and walked to the door. As he passed me, he didn't make eye contact. Smart, he knew better. The door clicked shut behind him. Evelyn sank into her chair, rubbing her temples. You're enjoying this. No, I said, I'm not, but I'm also not miserable anymore. There's a difference. I can fix this, she said. The schedule, the priorities, I can move things. I can make time. You can't make time. Evie, you can only choose where it goes. And you've chosen 9 times. It's not that simple. It is. It always was. Work or me, company or marriage, Nathan or us. You picked every single time. And now I'm picking too. She looked up at me, and for the first time in years, I saw something real in her eyes. Not the CEO, not the negotiator. Just a woman who just realized she'd lost something she didn't know she valued until it was gone. Julian, save it. I said, I'll be at Ben's office Wednesday at 2. If you want to negotiate, send your lawyers. But don't call me. Don't text. And don't ask Nathan to do it for you. Because if I see his name on a single filing, I'll invoke every clause in that prenup. And I'll win. I turned for the door. Wait, she said. I paused. Is there anything I can say? Anything I can do? I looked back at her, at the woman I'd loved, at the woman I'd let disappear behind the title, at the woman who was now, finally, panicking. Show up, I said, For once. Show up. Then I walked out. Marissa didn't look up as I passed. Nathan was nowhere in sight, probably in the break room, rewriting contingency plans. Let him. I took the elevator down, stepped out into the sunlight, and didn't look back. My phone buzzed as I reached the car. A text from Ben. Heard from her counsel. They're scrambling. You rattled her. I typed back. Good. Then deleted it. Hit send on a different message instead. To my assistant. Clear my schedule Wednesday afternoon. And book me a table at Le Bernardin. 4-1. The car pulled into traffic. Somewhere above me, Evelyn Carlisle was realizing that the most important merger of her life had just collapsed. And for the first time in 9 years, I wasn't there to help her clean up the mess. Let her figure out alone. Ben Harrington's office smells like old leather and older whiskey. I'm in the guest chair, ankle over knee, watching him skim the latest motion from Evelyn's counsel. He grunts, sets it down, reaches for Macallan, doesn't offer me any. Smart. They're moving fast. Ben says, trying to bury us in procedural bullshit. Motion to dismiss. Motion to seal. Motion to compel arbitration. Classic Carlisle playbook. She's scared. I say, she's pissed. There's a difference. He takes a sip, winces. Her lead counsel's a guy named Paul Darby, former SEC. Aggressive. He'll drag this out if you let him. I won't. Ben studies me. You sure about this? Julian? Once we start pulling threads, the whole sweater unravels. Not just the marriage, the company, her reputation, maybe even criminal exposure if Darby digs deep enough. I'm sure. He nods, sets the glass down. Then we need leverage. Something they don't see coming. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. I almost ignore it, then flip it over. Text preview. We need to talk. Not about the divorce. About Nathan. M.H. Marcus Hale. Evelyn's former co-founder. The guy she'd amicably bought out 5 years ago. According to the press releases. I'd always suspected otherwise. Change of plans. I tell Ben. Meeting moved to the grill. 1 o'clock. He raises an eyebrow. Hale? That's a hornet's nest. Exactly. The grill is loud at lunch. Power lunches happen here. The kind where nobody checks their phone because they're too busy watching who's watching them. Marcus is already at a corner table, nursing a martini. His suit rumpled in that deliberate Silicon Valley way. He stands when he sees me, shakes my hand too hard. Julian, thanks for coming. Cut the pleasantries. Marcus, what's this about Nathan? He slides a manila folder across the table. He's not just her assistant. He's building a side hustle, using Carlisle's infrastructure, her contacts, her IP. I've been tracking it for months. I open the folder. Internal emails, vendor invoices, non-disclosure agreements signed by Nathan personally, not Carlisle Global, a shell company called Reese Ventures, registered in Delaware, with a P.O. box in Wilmington. Explain. I say. Marcus leans in, voice low. After she bought me out, I stayed in the ecosystem. Still have friends in procurement. Legal. Ops. 6 months ago. A vendor mentioned an unusual request. Nathan wanted access to our Southeast Asian logistics network for a personal project. I dug deeper. Turns out, he's been diverting small percentages of shipping capacity, warehousing space, even dev hours. Nothing huge, nothing traceable, but it adds up to what? A parallel operation. Same suppliers, same routes, same margins. He's replicating Carlisle's model. Julian, quietly, under her nose. I flipped through the pages. Emails where Nathan refers to Phase 2, the transition, post-Carlisle metrics. One email, dated 3 weeks ago, catches my eye once the Series D closes and her personal guarantee triggers. We move. The board will fold if she's distracted. Make sure the anniversary dinner stays on the calendar. Distraction is our ally. I read it twice, then a third time. He knew. I say, about the 9th anniversary. He made sure she missed it. Marcus nods. He's been managing her calendar since year 2. Every missed dinner, every canceled weekend, it's all in here. He's not keeping her efficient. He's keeping her isolated. And you? You were the only person who could pull her focus. So he made sure you became the enemy. I lean back. The room feels louder suddenly. Clinking glasses, bursts of laughter, the scrape of silverware. None of it touches me. Why tell me this now? Because you file for divorce. Marcus says, and because she's too blind to see it. She thinks he's loyal, that he's the reason she sleeps 4 hours a night and still hits her numbers. But he's the reason she's alone in that office. Julian, he's the reason you're sitting here with me instead of with her. I close the folder. She won't believe me. She might not, but the board will. Especially when they realize Nathan's been courting O'Malley and Chin behind her back. I've got recordings. Recordings? Of him promising O'Malley a seat on the new board. Of him telling Chun that Evelyn's emotional instability makes her a liability post-Series D. He's been laying groundwork for a coup. Julian, and your divorce just gave him the opening. I pull out my phone, scroll to Evelyn's contact. Thumb hovers over the call button, then stops. Don't, Marcus says. Not yet. If you warn her, she'll confront him. He'll deny it, destroy the evidence. And you'll lose your leverage. Let her think you're the enemy. Let him think he's winning. Then strike. Strike how? Equity. You've got the prenup clause. Use it. Force a reallocation of assets. Get your hands on Carlisle shares. Enough to sit in on board meetings. Enough to ask questions they can't ignore. And then you expose him. Not through her. Through the SEC. Through the shareholders. Let the system tear him down. She'll hate you for it. Maybe forever. But she'll be alive. And she'll be free. I stare at him. You still care about her. He shrugs. I care about what we built. And I care that she's too proud to see the knife at her back. You're the only one who can show it to her. Even if she never thanks you. I stand. Slide the folder into my briefcase. I'll be in touch. Julian, he catches my arm. One more thing. The personal guarantee. Do you know about it? I freeze. What guarantee? Year 4, when she restructured the debt after the Singapore expansion, she signed a personal recourse clause. If Carlisle stock drops below 38 for 10 consecutive trading days, her personal assets, including the penthouse, the vineyard in Napa, the private equity holdings, they're all on the line. Nathan knows. He's been timing the short positions. That's why he needs a Series D to close, to lock in the valuation before the floor drops out. I sit back down, slowly. She never told me. She wouldn't. Pride. Same reason she never told you about the missed anniversaries being his fault. Not hers. She's been carrying this alone, and he's been counting on it. I pull out my phone again. This time, I dial Evelyn's direct line. It rings once, twice, 3 times, then voicemail. Evie, it's me. Call me. Not about the divorce. About Nathan, and about the guarantee. Call me before he does. I hang up, stare at the phone. It stays dark. Marcus finishes his martini. She won't call. Not yet. She's still in denial. But she will, when the stock dips tomorrow. When Nathan forgets to mention the hedge he didn't buy. When she realizes the man she trusts is the one burning the house down. I stand again. I need to move some capital. I'll send the wire instructions for the holding company. Use it to buy the float. Quietly, through 3 brokers. Don't spook the market. Done. I walk out of the grill. Past the suits and the power brokers. Past the waiters who know my name. Step into the sunlight. Pull out my phone. Dial my broker. Eric, it's Julian. I need you to execute a series of buys. Carlisle Global. Open market. Spread it over 5 days. Use the Zurich account, the Dublin account, and the Cayman Trust. Target 10%. No noise. No leaks. He hesitates. That's a 9-figure play. Julian, you sure? I'm sure. I hang up. Check my watch. 2:15. Evelyn's probably in a board meeting. Nathan's probably beside her, whispering in her ear, telling her how to handle the divorce distraction, telling her how to save the company he's sabotaging. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Not Marcus. Not Ben. Just 3 words. Well played. Julian. I don't recognize the number. but I know who it is. Nathan. He knows. He knows I'm on to him. And he's not worried. He's impressed. I type back. Game's just starting. Send. Then delete the thread. Block the number. Walk to the corner. Hail a cab. Give the driver my office address. Lean back against the seat. Close my eyes. 9 years of being invisible. 9 years of being dismissed. 9 years of being second to a man who's been plotting her downfall since day one. Not anymore. Tomorrow, the stock dips. The board panics. And I'll be there, not as her husband, as a shareholder, as a threat, as the only person in the room who knows the truth. Let Nathan play his games. I've got my own board to stack. Later that night, my phone rings. Unknown number. I answer on the third ring. Julian, her voice. Raw. Tired. I got your message. Evie, is it true? About Nathan? Which part? All of it. I pause. Meet me tomorrow. 8 a.m. My office. Alone. I can't. You can? Or you can keep trusting him. Your choice. Silence. Then, okay. I hang up. Stare at the ceiling. Somewhere in the city, Nathan is rewriting his plans. Somewhere in a penthouse on Park Avenue, Evelyn is realizing she's been played. And somewhere in a law office in Midtown, Ben Harrington is drafting the next motion. Tomorrow, everything changes. Tonight, I sleep 8 a.m. My office. I beat her here by 20 minutes. Made coffee. Black. No sugar. The way she hates it. Good. She walks in at exactly 8:01. No Nathan. No Marissa. Just her. In a navy suit that costs more than most people's monthly rent. Her hair pulled back. So tight it looks like it hurts. She doesn't sit. Doesn't speak. Just stands there. Waiting for me to make the first move. I gnawed at the chair across from my desk. Sit. She sits. Slowly. Like the leather might bite. You said it was about Nathan. She says. No greeting. No preamble. Just straight to the bone. It is. I say. Slide Marcus's folder across the desk. Read. She opens it. Flips through the first page. Pauses. Reads again. Her fingers tighten on the paper. By the third page, her breathing changes, shallow. Quick. By the fifth, her jaw is clenched so hard I can see the muscle twitch. She looks up. Where did you get this? Marcus Hale. She flinches. Just barely. He's a liar. He's been trying to gut this company since I bought him out. Maybe, but the emails are real. The invoices, the NDA, the shell company. I ran the metadata myself. They're Nathan's. She looks back at the papers. He wouldn't. He would. He has. For 2 years. Evie, while you were missing anniversaries, while you were trusting him with your calendar, your board, your life, he's been building a mirror image of Carlisle. Same suppliers, same margins, same exit strategy. And he's been using your name to do it. She pushes a folder away. Stands up. Paces. This is a misunderstanding. A misinterpretation of internal restructuring. He's my chief of staff. Of course he'd use company resources for special projects. Special projects. I repeat, like promising O'Malley a board seat in a company that doesn't exist yet. Like telling Chun, I'm a liability you need to manage. Like timing short positions against your own stock. She stops pacing. Turns to me. You're reading too much into. I'm reading his emails. Evie, word for word. Once the Series D closes and her personal guarantee triggers, we move. You know what that means, don't you? She goes still, completely still. How do you know about the guarantee? Marcus told me. Year 4, Singapore expansion. Personal recourse if the stock drops below 38. 10 consecutive trading days. Ring any bells? Her face goes white. Not the calculated paleness of a CEO. Real, physical, like the blood just drained out of her. I signed that to protect the company. She whispers, to get the debt restructuring through. Nathan said it was standard, that the banks required it as a formality, that it would never trigger. He lied. I say, he's been shorting the stock since January, quietly, through offshore accounts. He's been pushing the price down, waiting for the trigger. And when it hits, your personal assets, the penthouse, Napa, the equity, they're all on the line. And he's already lined up buyers for the fire sale. She sinks back into chair, covers her face with her hands. For a long moment, she doesn't move, doesn't speak. Then, muffled, why didn't he tell me? Because he doesn't work for you. Evie, he works for himself. You're the brand. He's the parasite. And I'm the only person who's not afraid to say it. She lowers her hands. Her eyes are red, but dry. What do you want? I want you to stop pretending this is about us. It's not. It's about survival. Yours, the company's, and maybe, if you're lucky, mine. I'll fire him, she says. Fast. Automatic. Today. I'll call legal. Audit. HR will freeze his accounts. Seize his devices. Launch an internal investigation. Too late. I say, he's already moved the money, already deleted the servers, already talked to 3 board members about a transition plan. If you fire him now, he'll sue for wrongful termination, leak the guarantee to the press, and tank the stock before the Series D closes. You'll lose everything by noon. She stares at me. Then what? What do I do? You let me handle it. Handle it how? I've been acquiring Carlyle shares since yesterday, through 3 brokers, 5 shell companies. I'm at 12% as of this morning. Enough to block a board quorum. Enough to demand an audit. Enough to make Nathan's life very difficult. Her eyes narrow. You're buying into the company? While we're divorcing, I'm protecting my investment. And yours, whether you like it or not. Evie, we're tied together until this blows over. The prenup gives you the right to reallocate assets based on your breach of marital duties. I'm invoking that. I want 15% equity, voting rights, and a seat on the compensation committee. In exchange, I'll dismantle Nathan's network, neutralize the short positions, and keep the guarantee out of the headlines. She laughs. It's bitter, ugly. You're blackmailing me with my own mistakes. I'm bargaining with you. There's a difference. You can fight me. Go public with a divorce. Let Nathan torch the company and spend the next 5 years in court. Or you can take the deal. Let me clean up the mess and walk away with your name intact. Your choice. She stands again, walks to the window, stares out at the skyline. And if I say no, then I file a separate action against Nathan for civil conspiracy, fraud, and misappropriation of trade secrets. I subpoena the board. I depose O'Malley and Chun. I leak the guarantee to the journal myself. And I watch Carlyle Global become a case study in Harvard Business School on how not to pick your inner circle. She turns. You destroy me. I destroy him. You're collateral, unless you get out of the way. She's quiet for a long time. Then, the board meets Thursday to finalize Series D. If Nathan's already talking to them, he is, which is why you need to show up with a counter-narrative. One that doesn't involve firing him. Yet, one that involves a strategic realignment led by a newly appointed special advisor, me. You announce it Thursday morning. Frame it as a proactive measure to strengthen governance post-Series D. Nathan won't see it coming. The board will love the optics. And by Friday, I'll have enough evidence to bury him without spooking the market. And the divorce? Proceeds as planned. Separate beds, separate lives, separate lawyers. But until the Series D closes and the guarantee is hedged, we present a united front. Publicly. Privately, you stay out of my way. And you keep Nathan exactly where he is. Close enough to incriminate. Far enough to control. She walks back to the desk, places her palms flat on the wood, leans in. If I do this, if I let you do this, I want one thing. Name it. You don't tell anyone. Not Marcus. Not Ben. Not the board. No one finds out about the guarantee. Ever. Agreed. As long as you don't try to double-cross me. If I catch you warning, Nathan. The deal's off and the guarantee goes public before lunch. She nods. Slowly. Thursday. 8 a.m. Boardroom. You'll have your announcement. Good. She turns to leave. Stops at the door. Doesn't look back. Julian? Yeah. Why are you helping me? After everything. I lean back in my chair. Watch your silhouette against the light. Because I loved you once. And because watching you burn is injustice. It's just waste. She doesn't reply. Just opens the door and walks out. My phone buzzes. Ben, heard about the equity play. Bold. Also heard Nathan's asking around about hostile shareholders. Be careful. I type back, already ahead of him. See you Thursday. Then dial Eric, my broker. Add another 3%. Quietly. And by put options on Reese Ventures. All of them. He whistles. You're really going for the jugular. I'm removing a tumor. There's a difference. Hang up. Check the time. 9:15. Evelyn's already back at her office. Nathan's probably in her ear, telling her how to spin the divorce distraction, telling her how to protect the company he's dismantling. Let him talk. Let him scheme. Let him think he's winning. Thursday, I'll be the one doing the talking. And Nathan? He'll wish he'd never heard the name Julian Voss. Later that day, my phone rings. Private number. I answer. Mr. Voss. Nathan's voice. Smooth. Unrattled. I hear congratulations are in order. New equity stake in Carlisle. Bold move. Save the flattery. Nathan, what do you want? Just a friendly chat. Between colleagues. I think we both know Mrs. Carlisle is emotionally compromised right now. The divorce, the market volatility. It's a lot for her to process. I'd hate for her to make a rash decision that harms the company or herself. Is that a threat? A observation. She trusts me. Mr. Voss. Implicitly. Always has. And while you're busy playing White Knight, I'm the one who actually knows how the business runs. Day to day. Minute to minute. You take that away. And she's adrift. And an adrift CEO, that's bad for everyone. Especially shareholders. I smile. Lean back. You're scared. Am I? Yeah. Because for the first time. She's not turning to you. She's turning to me. And you don't know why. You don't know what she knows. And that terrifies you. Silence. Then, Thursday's board meeting will be interesting. I look forward to seeing your proposal. You won't see it coming. Nathan, that's the point. Click. He hangs up. I set the phone down. Stare at the folder on my desk. The one with his emails, his lies, his future. Thursday. Game day. Let him bring his PowerPoint. I'm bringing a wrecking ball. Thursday. 7:42 a.m. I'm in the Carlisle Global Building 10 minutes before the board meeting. Security waves me through without a word. Marissa won't meet my eye. Nathan's already in the boardroom, setting up his laptop, clicking through slides like he owns a place. He looks up when I walk in, smiles like we're old golf buddies. Julian, early, ambitious, efficient. I say, set my briefcase on the table. Opposite his end. You ready for this? Always. He taps a key. The screen behind him flashes. Series D finalization, strategic roadmap. Though I'm curious, what exactly is your role today? Last I checked, you're not on the board. Not yet, I say, but I am a shareholder. 12% and climbing. Enough to call a special session. Enough to ask uncomfortable questions. His smile tightens. Mrs. Carlisle approve this? She will. At 7:58, Evelyn walks in. Navy suit. Hair perfect. Face unreadable. She doesn't look at Nathan. Doesn't look at me. Goes straight to her seat at the head of the table. The other board members filter in O'Malley, Chun, Patel, Rivera. All heavy hitters. All watching her like hawks. She waits until 8 o'clock exactly. Then speaks. Thank you for being here. Before we begin the Series D discussion, I'd like to introduce a strategic update regarding corporate governance. Effective immediately, Julian Voss will serve as special advisor to the CEO, with oversight of the audit and compensation committees. He'll also be granted a seat on the board pending shareholder approval at the next quarterly meeting. Silence. Then O'Malley leans forward. Julian, as in your husband? The one filing for divorce? My former spouse. Evelyn corrects. And yes, Mr. Voss has identified certain operational inefficiencies that require immediate attention. Given his background in crisis management and his current equity stake, this appointment is in the best interest of the company. Nathan clears his throat. Mrs. Carlyle, if I may, this seems precipitous. We haven't vetted Mr. Voss's qualifications internally, nor have we discussed this with the full leadership team. The timing, especially amid the Series D close, could be perceived as destabilizing. Perceived by whom? I ask. The investors you've been courting behind her back? The ones you promised board seats to in exchange for votes? Nathan's face doesn't change, but his knuckles go white on the table. I'm not sure what you're implying. I'm not implying. I say, pull a USB drive from my pocket, hand it to Marissa, digital forensics report, metadata from your work laptop, emails to O'Malley dated March 12th, April 3rd, and May 19th, offers of board positions contingent on supporting a leadership transition post-Series D. Also included, incorporation documents for Reese Ventures, Delaware registered, with a P.O. box matching the one you use for your personal mail forwarding. Chin sits back. Nathan, is this accurate? These are taken out of context. Nathan says, calm, too calm. Internal deliberations regarding succession planning. Standard practice for a chief of staff. Mr. Voss is mischaracterizing routine memoranda as routine. I cut in, like the short positions you've been building against Carlyle stock since January, through your Cayman account, reference in the email chain labeled Phase 2, or the personal guarantee clause you convince Mrs. Carlyle to sign in year 4, knowing full well you manipulate the share price to trigger it. The room goes dead quiet. Evelyn doesn't move, doesn't blink, just watches Nathan. He finally breaks eye contact, looks at her. Evie, Mrs. Carlyle, you know I'd never. Don't, she says. Her voice is low, flat. Don't call me that. Don't pretend you care about this company. You've been bleeding it dry for 2 years. Using my name, my trust, my time. She pauses, swallows. My marriage. O'Malley raises a hand. Mrs. Carlyle, if these allegations are substantiated, we have a fiduciary duty to investigate. Immediately, investigation is underway. I say, legal has the warrant. IT is seizing his devices as we speak. And I've already notified the SEC of potential insider trading and securities fraud. They'll be contacting Mr. Reese directly. Nathan stands. Slowly. This is a witch hunt, orchestrated by a man who's bitter about a failed marriage and looking to pad his own portfolio. I won't sit here and be defamed. Then don't sit. Evelyn says, leave. He looks at her, really looks, like he's seeing her for the first time, then grabs his laptop, shoves it under his arm, and walks out. The door clicks shut behind him. No one speaks for a full 10 seconds. Then Patel, Christ. Chun, we need to issue a statement before the market opens. Rivera and the Series D, can we still close? Evelyn finally turns to me. Julian? I pull out a second folder, slide it across the table. Term sheet amendment. Nathan's investors are out. I've backfilled around with 3 of my own clients. Quiet money, no strings. The valuation stays flat. The guarantee is hedged via a collar I structured last night with Goldman. And the short positions? I bought them this morning, at a loss to Nathan's accounts. He's underwater by 8 figures. O'Malley flips through the pages. This is comprehensive. It's done. I say, all you need to do is vote. They vote. Unanimous. Evelyn doesn't look at me when she signs. Just keeps her eyes on the pen, like it's the only thing holding her together. After the meeting, she stays in the boardroom. I linger by the door. You can go, she says. Not yet. She looks up. Why? You got what you wanted. Equity. Influence. Nathan gone. The company saved. What more is there? The divorce. I say, and the truth. She laughs. It's hollow. The truth is I let a snake into my house. I ignored my husband. I nearly lost everything because I thought control meant never needing anyone. Happy? No. I say, walk to the table. Sit across from her. But I'm not surprised. You've been running from that guarantee since the day you signed it, from the fear that if you weren't indispensable, you'd be nothing. Nathan exploited that. I just stopped enabling it. She's quiet. Then, the settlement. What are you asking for? 15% equity. Voting rights. The penthouse, you keep it. The vineyard, yours. The money in our joint accounts. Split it. I don't want alimony. I don't want a war. I want a clean break and a seat at the table where you can't ignore me. And if I say no, then I reopen the Nathan investigation publicly, and I make sure every reporter in New York knows about the guarantee. Your choice. She stares at me long enough that I think she might actually refuse. Then, fine. 15%. Board seat. No alimony. But the penthouse stays in my name. And you don't talk to the press. Ever. Deal. We shake on it. Her hand is cold. Mine is steady. Later that afternoon, I'm in my office when Ben calls. Heard the news. Nathan's lawyering up. SEC's circling. You really stuck the landing. Thanks. I say, draft the settlement. Send it over. You okay? I'm fine. Liar. I hang up, stare at the skyline. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. I answer. Mr. Voss. Nathan. His voice is different now. No smoothness. Just raw. You think you won. But you didn't. You just delayed the inevitable. She'll self-destruct without me. And when she does, I'll be there to pick up the pieces. No, you won't. I say, because I'll be there first. And this time, she'll see you coming. Click. I block the number. Delete the log. That evening, I'm at Le Bernardin. Table for one. Antoine greets me by name. Seats me without asking. I order the tasting menu. Drink the wine. Eat the food. Savor it. Halfway through, my phone buzzes. A text from Evelyn. I remembered. All 9. I stare at the screen. Then type back. I know. Delete it. Type again. Good. Send. Then turn off the phone. Set it face down on the table. Outside, the city hums. Inside, the room is warm. The food is perfect. And for the first time in 9 years, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Alone. And finally, at peace.